The Tape Never Lies Network, home of the greatest Chicago Bears fans on earth.
The following show is for mature audiences only.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
The tape never lies.
Tape never lies.
Starts now.
The tape never lies.
The Tape Never Lies Network. Starts now.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
Yeah, you look at the tape. So as a coach, your resume is the tape.
Loses the football. Strip sack and
Bears our live. Bears our live. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys draft talk in the smartest man alive. Bears our live.
Son of a bitch, you better block.
Bears our live. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys draft talk and the smartest man alive. We're up with the true analysis you expect. Raw passion for the show. Bear fans get nothing less. Locked in with real emotion and passion for every play. Coach Phil delivering that range. In with facts my show. Post game show like nothing else you're gonna hear. Some can try that coffee, but a bucket's not sincere. Delivering the truth of what just happened, to be clear. That's why we're on TV, so you can see it, not just hear. Hey, yo, with Draft Dr. Phil, you know it's always hit sticks. True to fundamentals, never gimmicks and tricks. Guess we're moving Soldier Field up to Arlington Heights. Millhouse Mountain Bus while the mayor pick fights. Our life keeps growing, Shane's all knowing. Delivering the truth on how the QB's throwing. Dimes on time, just lacking fundamental. Whatever the case, we get hot like Cecil. Fiery discussion on what happened in the game. This ain't your daddy's postgame, so expect the fucking flame. Not for the average fan, a loss they can't survive.
But don't you worry.
Bears Our Live.
Bears our life. Bears our life. We go
Let him sit his ass there again. I don't think we're that much worse.
The myth, the Red Legend, Dr. Phil Ocean.
This is football, baby. Culture is the problem. Let's get on little things. Bears our life. Bears our
Son of a bitch, you better block.
life.
That's what happens. That's when you have a real
Right
good team.
after Bears
And let's
games
get it
with
on.
your boys draft talk and the smartest.
Give me some fucking names.
This is Bears Hour Live.
Welcome to BHL. Another football season has begun. Yikes. Same old Bears. I have lots and lots of questions. Obviously, there's not going to be an opening rant, even though I think everybody could do one tonight after what unfolded. I think the Bears got out executed. I think they got out coached. I think that they got outplayed in the second half. There's going to be bumps in the road. It is what it is, but the Bears gave one away tonight. I understand the bad calls, but at some point, good teams have to overcome those, go out and make plays, and the Bears simply didn't. I mean, you have where's your top 10 pick tonight? Where's Colston Loveland? Lots of questions, but Phil is in Chicago, as you guys know, so I have some helpers here tonight. Got my guy Cars, and a relative newcomer to TTNL, a guy that's been away for a long time, Christopher Jackal.
I mean,
Guys,
this
yeah.
group is now all 6 foot and over. So I mean, it's
Yeah, I
super
know.
positive.
Crazy.
For the
Crazy.
height of TTNL is definitely good.
But
That's
guys,
about all it is, the height.
I mean, they take back the pick six, Nashawn Wright, and I think a lot of people just were, thinking that the Bears were gonna, build upon that and go. And really after that, it just got worse. I didn't understand some of the play calling with Ben. It seemed like he went ultra conservative on some of the play calls. We talked about it at halftime. You guys weren't there with our TTNL network patrons. I just wasn't on the same page, and I understand the aggressiveness of the coach. It was just, I was kind of like, I did agree with what Phil was saying. Listen, it's your first game. Stack the points when you can get them. And I know, the one person out there that's having a good night tonight is our guy Bullets with Cairo shanking his field goal. But just what a utter disappointment. I don't know if you can look at anybody on the Bears and come away, happy with the way that everything was executed. I mean, Caleb, he's got to be better. He's got to be better. He missed throws tonight. I think his feet were, I don't want to call them happy feet, but his feet are going to tell the story, and his feet were sporadic tonight, and running game not cranked up. I mean, Jonah Jackson, the holding penalty, and listen, I'm not going to sit here. I don't want to make excuses for the referees, but I would have to hear somebody give me a valid excuse of how that was holding on Darnell Wright.
It wasn't.
And that ended up being a
extremely questionable,
pretty massive play. But even the execution at the end of the game, I mean, the one thing you can't do is let them return the ball.
Yeah.
It's the one thing. Kick it out of bounds.
Situational football.
Attempted onside kick. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And that right there, I mean, I'm going to be interested to know if one of the Bears beat reporters are smart enough to ask the question what the call was on that, because Ben is a pretty point blank guy and he should come out and say that. But it's just tough, man. You're starting off this regime change, and it's hard to swallow and accept the bumps in the road when, as Bears fans, we've just been beaten down for so long, and we see a lot of the same things over and over again.
I think what's tough about it is if you watch the first week, like most of the other games, would you say that Philadelphia looked really good? I wouldn't.
No.
Yeah, no,
like,
they're
outside of maybe like the Buffalo Baltimore game was fantastic, but what you saw today was stereotypical week one of the NFL kind of stuff. Like it's one of those things where you don't get too high, you don't get too low, unless your lows are as bad as it was for Miami or New York. Like, yeah, there's questions, there are issues, but let's also not forget that Minnesota made their line even better than they were last year and upgraded at those places. So you knew that this was going to be a struggle. You just want to see some of the other things develop. And, it's nice to see that our chat, as always, is as fair and measured as they always are. And
I mean, it's
something to
it's all on Caleb right now. It's his fault.
And listen, I understand it that everybody needs to be better. Caleb needs to be better. That's included. But it's just the calls for Tyson Bagent have begun, and I looked down there and I saw like 3 or 4 in a row. The Caleb is trash, and it's
he's awful.
It's nauseating. We have a chat room for our TTNL network patrons, and with some of them, the game was over with 14 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it's just like I had to put a comment in there, and I'm like, you guys are more dramatic than a 16-year-old girl getting dressed for prom. It's crazy. I understand it, but that's where you are as a Bears fan.
Shane, if that holding penalty doesn't happen, that changes everything.
Yeah.
And let's be real, that's a holding penalty that should not have been called. It was atrocious, just like the hands to the face on Dio, and that came around.
Yeah.
But I look at this, and again, it's not something to necessarily be shocked on. I mean, do we forget that last year 9 teams, I think, that Minnesota faced didn't crack 300 yards of total offense? They had 2 good edge rushers, and they went ahead and added Jonathan Allen and others to that front. So you knew that it was going to be pressure. It wasn't going to be pretty. And I think they did some things to try to mitigate that early. I think my biggest complaint is I would have liked to see a lot more Kyle Monangai and kind of changing some of the run looks. I don't necessarily like the way that we kept going out there with.
Yeah, and I think with that, we talked about that a little bit, not you and I specifically, but there was a couple of plays, and it'll show up on tape where Monangai in pass pro just was completely. He looked like a 7th round
destroyed
rookie, and I mean Ben's motto is no block, no rock, and I think that they kind of lived by that. I mean, Swift came in and provided you with some juice there. He started to run hard, but it's his vision overall is who DeAndre Swift has always been, and it's just lacking there. But I just, we heard all about the 12 personnel and the Bears were in it a lot, but I guess, Cars, I was expecting to see more from Colston Loveland in terms of the passing game. I'm just looking over the stats here. Loveland had 2 catches, 12 yards. Cole Kmet had the 31-yard reception. But, Roma Dunze, 6 catches for 36 yards.
Yeah, I mean,
Caleb was 21 for 35 for 211 yards. I mean, so it's not like.
No, look, I mean, he started out fine, and the idea that he missed stuff early, I think there was a big focus on him getting the ball out quick.
Yeah.
I will say after kind of that first half, it absolutely didn't look the same. The Vikings adjusted. We did not.
Flores.
We did not do enough. And what Ben did that I think Shane made the 12 even more. It was mostly a lot of 13 looks where the third tight end was Theo Benedict.
Yeah, brought him a lot.
You're looking at those guys to make things happen. I would have, I think it was unfortunate. You just didn't. You just kind of got way too conservative there in the second half. And I understand you keep wanting to set the play action, and some of our biggest plays were off of play action, but you still we've got all this talent. Where were more looks with Luther Burden? Where was more with Olamide? You saw the things that were working when you went out there, and it was kind of more of that. You went heavy enough that you really had 11. You could have gone 11 and done that a lot more. And I think that it's just, you're going to look at this game as just more of lost opportunities from players,
and
from coaches, and from bullshit penalties.
And like I said, sadly, with the chat has just become all of the people that hated Caleb initially are trying to take their victory laps, and it is what it is. And
but none of these guys watched any other game.
He didn't.
Right. I mean, I literally started the fucking show off with saying that Caleb needs to play better.
Yeah.
And then there's but you don't want to hear that.
It's September.
Go root for the fucking Jets. That's all I'm going to tell you. Go root for the Jets.
I think I'm looking at my watch. September 8th. I mean, it's September football. It's been ugly football.
From all the Tyson stuff, these are all CHGO folks, and just go watch Carm and his 10-7 football team. Look, I mean,
he didn't have a good game. I mean, no one is Shane. You never said he had a great game.
I never did. I literally started off the show by saying Caleb needs to play better, but
you expect more from QB1.
It's the life of the Bears fan, and nobody knows any better because we've never had a quarterback, and you're just, as a Bears fan, you're just sitting there waiting for it to go wrong. And 99% of the time it does go wrong and you get beat, and it's just it is what it is. But listen, Caleb's not alone tonight. Ben Johnson, I mean, I was disappointed.
Oh, I think
in his debut tonight. The second half, I'm like, what are we doing here?
Even after kind of that second drive, Shane, it started to get very questionable.
Yeah, and like I said, and again, Caleb needs to be. You can't have a fucking layup to DJ Moore for 6 and not see it quick enough and fucking sail it. That was, it's something that we saw with Mitch. You'd have guys that were wide open and it would get sailed out of bounds. Caleb didn't see it quick enough. You saw it on the one to Roma Dunze that Troy Aikman pointed out in the middle of the field. He ended up getting it there, but Rome was waiting and waiting and waiting. Caleb finally got it there. And that's all part of the process. And I think that you could see, I know there was a couple of heated moments, according to people at the game, where Caleb and Ben were, heated with each other. But that's to me, great.
That's good.
That's exactly what you want. And I mean, people are going to try to make, if you're a anti Caleb Williams, people are going to try to make that a thing. And it's complete nonsense. We know what it is. And none of the narrative around the Chicago Bears is going to change until they start winning and they start winning consistently, and it's just what it is. So just to give you guys an update, we're going to carry the pressers here, see what they have to say. Hopefully the audio is good on the Bears end. We know how that's hit and miss, but they'll start it off with Coach Johnson.
Hope he talks about that challenge.
Yeah, and then Caleb will come up to talk. But Cars, I mean, if you had to rank your biggest disappointments other than the loss overall, where is it laying with you?
It's 1A and 1B with Ben and then Caleb. Like it's right there. And I think after the start of what it looked like and what it became, it was just terrible. It was inexcusably bad.
Yeah. Jackal, what about you? I know you and I were talking a little bit right before the show started, and I think your sentiments were kind of, along in the same line. But I just, if I'm taken away from it, you were aggressive in the first half with the 4th down play calls. I just don't know where the aggressiveness went.
So conservative. Third quarter.
In the second half, and it was that part of it was really questionable to me, at best. And even again, I hate to even bring up bad calls, but they were prominent tonight. The pass interference on Tyreek Stevenson. What is there? There's nothing there.
I hate that an underthrown ball becomes, because even the one to me that they called on Wright early on, that was another one that was an underthrown ball. That's the only reason that happens. That's the worst penalty in the NFL by far.
Right. And Madeo Duck, or however you want to pronounce that. I'm talking about the situations. I didn't say that Caleb is Mitch. He is not. He's a better quarterback than Mitch Trubisky. And I know people are going to react to that in the fucking chat because everybody's overly dramatic. I'm talking about when he missed DJ Moore on the busted play when he was wide open. He didn't see it quick enough. And then when he saw it, he sailed the pass out of bounds. And if you go back to draft day when the Bears drafted Mitch Trubisky, John Gruden himself said, when I see Mitch play, I see a lot of balls that are thrown out of bounds that he doesn't give his receivers a chance to make a play. And that was one of them tonight with Caleb, where that's a fucking layup. And you cannot miss those. You can't.
Nope.
You have to hit that. It's pitch, catch, sticks. That's the way that it should be.
Yep.
And with the Bears, again, it's like pulling fucking teeth. They rarely take the layups and the easy stuff. Everything is made hard with them. And, and again, I'm not going to put everything on Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Did Caleb give up 21 points in the 4th quarter? Was that on Caleb? No, the defense, and I understand they were down 3 starters, but still, listen, you're going to battle with what you got. I mean, where was Andrew Billings tonight? Where was he? Montez Sweat making a shit ton of money.
What
Where
about
were ya?
Brisker, who wants to get paid? You know, Brisker sits there, wants to get paid. Where was he? You know, the litany. Jonah Jackson had an abysmal first
Terrible.
half. If you
2 out
look
of the
at it,
4 false starts, right?
yeah. I mean, look again, and the first week. You have to remember, for the most part, unless your team completely falls apart and shits the bed, the first week is basically an extra week.
Preseason
Every
game 4.
team really treats it like that, unless you've got, some sort of statement game like, Baltimore and Buffalo and 2 teams that are running for it. It is, and look around the league. Like Detroit looked terrible against Green Bay. That was way worse than what we just saw. You looked around at and when watching some of the other games, like Carolina. All we've heard is Bryce Young is up and coming. That fell apart. The Houston Texans, that fell apart. Like it was brutal all the way around. So I'm not necessarily shocked.
Obviously, disappointing way to start the season there for us. We just have a 17-6 lead and then see it go the way it did there in the fourth quarter. We said going into week 1 that the team that would make the least number of mistakes would win the game, and unfortunately, we were on the wrong side of that. We made too many there late in the game, myself included. There were a number of things that I could have done better, a number of things that a number of guys could have done better. When you look down at the stat sheet and you see 12 penalties, that's got to get cleaned up in a hurry, and yet we've been saying that all training camp as well. So, we'll find a way to get that done. It's going to be a collective effort. No one's pointing fingers. Statistically, I really think the defense did a really good job up until the very end. That fourth quarter, things got away from us a little bit, but up until then, they kept us in that ball game. Offense was stalling out, some good, some bad. I thought Caleb played well to start the game for the most part, finding completions and getting us moving. We weren't good enough on third down or fourth down as the game went, which we knew that was a good team on those downs. And then, of course, when you have the penalties and hard to establish the run game quite like we wanted to, it felt like we were behind the sticks most of the time. So second and long and third and long was where we lived, which was a struggle for us offensively. Guys did play hard. They played with great intensity, great effort, and I hate to see that they didn't come out with a W there at the end. But no one's going to feel sorry for us. It's going to be a quick turnaround here to get going for next Sunday.
You got the Lions.
First road game. And so we got to turn the page here quickly.
They better be bringing in another running back.
Yeah, that much is 100%. If Roshan Johnson not being out or not playing is a difference maker, that's
DJ's
a problem.
not a fucking running back. Let's stop with that.
Completions to get us
nonsense.
There, get the ball in our playmakers'
Yeah, but
hands.
who are you gonna find?
Those are a little bit harder to come by. I thought Caleb did a good job.
There'll
working
be
the pocket there early
someone.
in the game.
Someone just as a change of
And then
just as a
the
change of
running game just
pace.
I didn't feel the rhythm as I was calling it. There was some good and some not quite so good. It didn't seem like we were all on the same page at the whole time. So, like I said, that's a reflection of me as much as anything else, because what we said, as long as we were communicating the mic point and we're on the same page, we'd be just fine this game.
What about Caleb throughout the game? What happened with this game where he's 10 for 10 and then 8 for his next 20?
Yeah. I thought he started off really well, and then I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at exactly where those incompletions came in, but it certainly felt like it dried up a little bit, and probably a credit to Flores and the Vikings as well, making some adjustments on their end because some things tightened up as well.
Then when you guys were getting the run game going late in the third quarter, I think it was first and 10 at their 24, and then you had the holding, intentional grounding. How would you describe the way that whole drive to kind of go from a chance to put them away to missing the field goal, how that kind of maybe deflated things?
Yeah, no, I think you certainly feel it when you're on the sideline there. You got it moving, you got it going, and then all of a sudden it starts going backwards and negative plays are happening, whether it's penalties or the intentional grounding, things of that nature. And so, it cost us some points, big time.
You talked about finding some sort of rhythm within the offense. in this game, your tight ends only accounted for about 4 receptions. How much of a role do you think that played in the outcome of tonight, and what do you hope to do moving forward?
Each game's different, and so they knew that they were going to have a workman-like approach to this game. They were going to be big factors in the run game and in protection for us, and so as a result, the receiving game might not have been quite as big this week.
On that first possession in the second quarter after they kicked the field goal, you guys come down, you decide to go for it on 4th and 3. What can you take us through your decision-making process on there? And does Caleb need to hit that throw with more open kind of there in the middle of the field?
I'd have to go back and look at exactly from his viewpoint what that looked like, but we like the call.
Does he need to hit the open man on 4th down?
At the end of the game, after you guys scored the touchdown, what was the conversation about onside versus kicking off? And then were you hoping that kick was going to go out of the end zone?
Yeah, the intent was for the ball to go out of the end zone.
And was there do you guys consider onside kick? I mean, how did that?
Yeah, it did. We felt like if we had kicked it out of the end zone and gotten the 3 and out that we got, we would get the ball back with around 56 seconds.
Thanks, guys.
Why did you kick it out of the end zone?
So that's kind of, and that's to, what Bullets has, maintained. Got to give him his credit, calling out Cairo missed field goal. And I mean, Ben Johnson's telling you right there. To be executed the way that he wanted it called, you kick it. You kick it out of the end zone. And he didn't do it. So that's this is, football doesn't have to be so goddamn hard. And people want to be so quick to pass blame on players that they don't like or, defend players that they do like. Simple plays that don't get executed dictate outcomes of football games all the time. And that's the thing. I mean, it's just hard to stomach because like I said, we've been rooting for this team forever, and it's the same cycle over and over and over again of, oh yeah, that was a shitty call, or a shitty penalty that the ref called, or I hated that play call on 3rd and 2 with the screen to Rome, or why are you going for it on 4th down here, or how did you miss a guy wide open for a touchdown? We turn on the TV, we see other teams play, and you see those things get executed over and over again. And in Chicago, it just seems like it's, like I said 20 minutes ago, it's like pulling teeth. So I'm interested to see and hear, what Caleb says. I don't think it's going to be a very good week nationally. Again, as Bears fans are very accustomed to, because this is going to turn into the, now JJ's better, and it's going to, Justin Fields had one good game, and so his script for the season's been written for all the people that hate Caleb Williams. I mean, he's heading to the Hall of Fame. I told y'all he was good and all of that shit,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying that's what this turns into.
And it's exhausting, and it doesn't need to be there. He's now on his 2nd team removed from the Bears. This is no longer about him. He's on a 2nd team with a contract that gives him no certainty. This is and it's not a like from like. We're going to sit here and talk about him, the same people that sit down and talk about him in year 6 or whatever year it is for him right now, and look at what he's doing, and then in game 2 or year 2, we're looking at something different. Look, right. It's a problem. It needs to be cleaned up, but it's not. If you watched any of these games this week, it's kind of on par with that sloppiness of those, and you're just playing one of the best defenses and one of the best defensive coordinators in football. It's not an excuse, but it's when most teams use this as an extension of their 4th game of preseason, and you see that quite a lot. This is the stuff that happens. I think Ben has the most to learn, and Ben, JT, and all those guys are going to have a lot to work on with Caleb. and they, you know, it's going to be different next week because Detroit playing something different. But to your point, Shane, all week it's just going to be that we drafted the wrong quarterback.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, and I maintain there's going to be very few people. I've lived this for a long, long time, and the people that don't like Caleb Williams are the ones that are they're never going to like Caleb Williams, no matter what. It's because he, you know, who was it? Tito just keeps on talking about his fingernails. Had no fucking bearing on the game, Tito. How about just grow the fuck up? I don't know. How about that? Has
That's
nothing to
crazy
do
talk.
with his fingernails. It's just fucking dumb. It's dumb. His phone case didn't have any bearing on the fucking outcome of the game either. But that irritates people. And that's why you see the shit that you do in the fucking media and the reactions that he gets. Does Caleb need to improve? Yes, he does need to improve. But we have people upset that Caleb Williams doesn't turn the ball over more. Let that shit sink in. Had he thrown 3 picks tonight and the Bears won, guess what would be the lead story? Can't do that against Detroit next week. Can't turn the ball over. Too much hero ball. So he's at the end of the fucking rope with that bullshit. The Bears just have to fucking win. Just like Cars put it perfectly. That shit gets so nauseating. It's crazy. Caleb needs to play better. Ben needs to coach better. Plays need to be executed. Jonah Jackson, you need to play better. Drew Dahlman got fucking pimped 2 or 3 times tonight. You need to fucking play better. Braxton Jones is Braxton. He can't anchor. Ryan Poles, you need to be better. Let's put our $27 million wide receiver at running back and just pretend like we don't need to bring in another running back. It's fucking ridiculous. Britton Brown showed that he can run with power. He should have been elevated tonight. I question the entire process. And I know I bring up this team all the time with the Philadelphia Eagles. They have Saquon Barkley. And they still go out and they're making a trade to try to improve their backups. But not in Chicago. Not in Chicago. We don't do that here.
Howie gets it.
It's crazy. Man, it's fucking frustrating when the 17-6 and the position that they were in, I think it was a complete collapse all the way around with the Chicago Bears.
The defense let JJ off the hook. He was rattled. He was scared. He still was ripe for the picking, and we let him. We let him.
Azrael, and again, I'll address this, and then I'm just going to move on from it. Don't criticize. I've criticized Caleb plenty. Like, if you have a problem with Phil, just fucking say it. Just say it. I've never called Caleb Williams generational. Ever. Just, it's like, everybody wants their fucking gotcha moment. We've played 18 games with Caleb Williams. 18.
Week 1.
18. Stop, man. Be better. Be a better commenter. Interesting that the QB isn't out here yet. To me, I mean, what has it been? 10 minutes since he spoke, but they got to. I mean, are you guys in agreement? They got to bring in another back or elevate Britton Brown.
You can't
100%.
tell me. You can't tell me you trust Monangai and then don't do anything.
Not
with
one
him.
carry.
Right. I trust. Ben Johnson said that. Yeah, I trust him with everything. But then he got out there, and I know of 2 times that he got completely destroyed in pass pro. And like I said, I defaulted to the no block, no rock. And what Jackal said, 0 carries.
Yeah.
Here's the rundown. Caleb Williams had 6 attempts for 58 yards. DeAndre Swift 17 for 53. DJ Moore 3 for 8. I don't get it. I really don't.
You didn't see that in Ben Johnson's offense in Detroit. He would have that dual back option,
but he had
cram DJ Moore into that role. I mean,
he had 2 different guys. You're absolutely right, Jacko. Right? His first year it was DeAndre with Jamal Williams, and Jamal was really the one that carried
the league in touchdowns that year.
Touchdowns, he set the record that year at 17, I believe it was what it was. So yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Reading the chat is mind numbing because you can tell how many people read a box score and didn't watch half of these games. Because did anybody watch Detroit go out and throw 10 screens to Jahmyr Gibbs for 31 yards, or watch
the Bengals?
Yeah, or watch AJ Brown get 1 target in a game, or watch stop read. If you want to read your stats and think that that's what it means. But if you watch
Bears were bad today.
Bears were bad. Absolutely. They played well enough to win that game, and they played well enough to lose that game. And the problem is that we lost it. And that's it.
Yeah, and it's like I said, they're just showing the replays up here of just looking at on the Aaron Jones touchdown, and I get it. You know, the defense, for being shorthanded, played well.
They were bending,
but at the same time, I mean, that's a pitch and catch right there. It's wide open. Our guy missed it to DJ. Those things dictate the outcomes of games. Cairo shanked it. You end up losing by 3. You went for it on, what was it? Was it 4th and 2 or 4th and 3?
Bring 6 kickers in tomorrow.
Yep.
Bring Greg DeLeg in. Zerline. Bring him in.
You gotta make changes. I think that's what you've learned first and foremost, because if you're telling me that Roschon Johnson is the difference maker in that room, you don't have a difference maker.
At no point has Roschon Johnson been a difference maker, and we know that. And again, this is an indictment on your front office.
Polls.
And it just you know, you were talking about Detroit, but look at the way that they were aggressive at that position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the Bears are just non-existent at that position. You know, you go in cars, and I know you and I were talking about this after the Bears completed their 53-man roster. Their 2 fucking waiver claims were for a backup middle linebacker, special teamer, and Jalen Jones. And I'm not saying that if you claim guys, they're going to come in here and make an impact, but at least fucking try.
Yeah.
At least try, and they're not even doing that. It makes no sense to me. We know what DeAndre Swift's flaws are. We know that. Your head coach came out and said, Monangai, I trust him with everything. He stood out to me. He got 0 carries because he wasn't good in pass pro.
Yep.
Colston Loveland.
Ghost.
Luther Burden.
Didn't play.
Didn't 1 catch for -3 yards.
Caleb, it seems that towards the end of the game, a few of your passes started to get away from you. Can you pinpoint the reason for that happening?
I think that just happens sometimes in games and in moments. Just got to reel it back in and go out there and execute. I think we did that on that last drive, or second to last drive that we had. Being able to reel it back in and go out there and complete the ball.
What got off track in the passing game after that hot start?
I think just first it starts with getting in and out of huddle. It starts with being able to just, complete, some easy passes, check downs, and things like that, keep the drives going. And I think we did that in the beginning. And, that's the hot start that you're talking about. And I think a few balls got batted. We had penalties and things like that. So it slowed the drives down, slowed the momentum down that we had. And we got to get better at those.
Caleb, this series that ends with it being 3rd and 30 and then Kyler misses the field goal.
Yep.
What is the lesson from there in terms of the momentum change?
Yeah, the lesson there is get the ball past the line of scrimmage. I was trying to throw the ball away, and it just didn't get past the line of scrimmage because I knew we were in field goal range. I think I've been able to have a couple of those moments, and I've come up here and spoke to you all about learning from those moments, and I knew we were in field goal range, like I said, and just being able to get the ball past the line of scrimmage in that position, trying to throw it away, and trying to keep us in field goal range.
Yeah, the same possession, you had Cole come across the middle. What did you see on that one? Kind of thought you missed them by a wide margin across the middle.
Threw it a little bit in front of him. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah, we worked this play all week and was hitting it, and we kind of did it twice today and missed both in the same spot. Missed it right in front of him, and it's frustrating because did everything perfect all the way up to that, and then just missed, and that happens, and so just being able to come back from that and keep punching, keep fighting, but those are big moments in the game. Both times I believe we were either high red zone or in the red zone, and just missed right in front of them, just a bit outside, so or inside, so frustrating. Something that you practice, something that you hit throughout the whole week, and move the backer and whip it in there and just miss.
The other one's the DJ pass on 4th and 3. Is that?
It was DJ. Same thing. Just missed right in front of him, wide open, and moved the backer, came back and missed the same spot, same route. And like I said, it's frustrating. Something that you practice on throughout the whole week, and something that I'll be better with. Something that you have to hit in those moments.
Somebody who takes such great pride in his accuracy. Do you know why that didn't go the way it was supposed to go? Or?
I think I got to go back and watch it, honestly, but I think I set too far in front of it and tried to lead him and let him a little bit too far.
What's the key to kind of stepping on things when you got him down, trying to bury him early? Is that an aggressive mentality? Is it aggressive play calling? Is it aggressive shot taking? Like what is that you guys started out really well and kind of felt like you were dominating the game for the score?
Yeah,
like that?
Absolutely. We felt like we were dominating the game, like you said, and we were in control up to 2 scores coming out of half, and that mentality is something that we have, something that we preach, and that didn't happen today. It's not a play call thing. It's not anything like that. It's just being able to go out there and execute the plays that are called, and be able to execute them at a high level. And that's something that we take pride in. And today that didn't happen, and we're going to get back to it. Like I said, we got like probably Ben said, we got a short week, and so we got to move on to to the next week. We'll come in, watch film tomorrow, and move on from it. And then from there, it's it's being able to lost my train of thought. It's being able to move on and go on to the next week and correct the things we need to correct, and the positive things that we had and things like that take from it.
Caleb, were you making more of a concerted effort to scramble more to stay out of negative plays?
Scrambling to stay out of negative plays. Yeah, I think that's important. I think especially playing versus Flo. It's such an aggressive defense. He's such a smart D coordinator, and those guys on the other side are really good players. So being able to take what the defense gives you and be able to get out of things or scramble and go get a first down or touchdown or whatever the case may be. Versus Flo is keeping us ahead of the chains, and that's something that I take pride in, something that that Ben and I talk about consistently, and making defenses hurt when they want to drop out or play man to man and things like that. So it's important. It's important to us and the offense and our team, and whatever's important to us is what I'm going to do.
When
you see your seven double-digit lead kind of dissipate like that, I know Darnell said that it felt like looking around on offense that some kind of looked around like somebody needs to create a spark here.
Yep.
How do you rectify that? Like, if nobody's doing it, is it on you to do that? Like, how do you view that?
Yeah, I'd say that is a feeling that can happen and can appear. And in those moments, it doesn't necessarily come down to somebody doing anything outstanding. It doesn't come down to anybody doing anything out of character or anything like that. It comes down to being able to go out there and be together, all 11 on the field, doing our job at one time as soon as the ball snapped. And then when time comes, and either the ball or is thrown to a receiver or we run the ball or whatever the case may be, ball's in my hand. Once the ball disappears from my hand, I deliver it to wide receiver. It's time for them to go make a play. We hand the ball off. It's time for him to make a play. And if the ball's in my hand, it's time to make a play. But other than that, everybody just has to do their 111th, including me. And I think we'll be able to execute the plays that are called.
Caleb, it's your first game with Ben.
Yep.
Full game. What was good there, and what do you two need to work on?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of good there. Our communication, I think he was getting the plays in, fast, and being able to get out the huddle. We need to be better with that, and been able to get up to the line, make checks, or whatever the case may be. But I think it's a growing process that it's going to keep growing from here. This is the start, but definitely not the end. So we'll keep growing. We'll keep being passionate about this offense, him and I, and passionate about this team and winning.
Caleb, your nails have the suicide number on it. Why is that possible?
Yeah, just being able to bring more awareness, on a national level. It's important to me, and being able to support, I don't know if this does, help or affect anything, towards anybody of preventing somebody of doing something like that. But I do it for those reasons, just in case it does. Awesome. The Bears.
I don't know if they're going to bring anybody else out, but if they do, we'll see. But it's no, and that'll be the end of the Bears presser. But end of the day, guys, like I said, this isn't just a Caleb Williams thing. It isn't just a Ben Johnson thing. It's a Chicago Bears thing. They need to be better from top to bottom. And sadly, we saw what happened to Detroit against Green Bay. And you don't think that they're going to be ready? I think it was Yurko talking about it.
Dan Campbell guaranteed a win.
Yeah, Dan Campbell came out and guaranteed a win versus the Bears. Yeah, so he put their team on notice, and hey, I respect the fuck out of it.
Hell yeah.
They're gonna, they're gonna be having their first game at home. They're gonna come out and be prepared, and you don't think they're gonna want to make a statement versus Ben Johnson in Chicago. And the effort today, Ben said, the guys played hard, and there was spots, but none of it was good enough to win in the NFL. And to JJ McCarthy, I mean, JJ McCarthy has a lot to work on, and all the people that are praising him were trashing the kid in the first half. Let's be honest. But nobody's going to talk about that. JJ settled into it in the second half, and our guy started out hot and fizzled and had some issues. JJ started out horrific and then settled down and made some plays, winning football. It's kind of, who he has been. Was he a guy that would completely take a game over based on his arm? No, he wasn't that, but he made the plays when they needed to be made. And again, go back to just take one pass, and it can change outcomes, just like a bad play call can, just like a bad call from a referee can. And the Bears aren't good enough. They're not. Ryan Poles, I still maintain, can he get better? My confidence level in Ryan Poles moving forward is not there. I said back when Flus was gone, if they were going to do this, they should have moved on from Flus, from Ryan Poles. You're obviously still going to go after Ben Johnson and let that whole thing, let that new relationship GM head coach grow from the get-go. Ryan Poles sits back and thinks that things are going to get better just with time, that they're going to take care of themselves, that everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows, and everybody's going to. It does not work that way.
No.
The NFL is not for long, and I know we had some patrons saying, "Do you think he's going to survive his extension?" No, he should have never gotten it. There was no reason. You could be the biggest Ryan Poles apologist ever, and you will never be able to give me a valid reason. And I don't want to hear on the same page. He was under contract. You could say, oh, we're going to get them on the same, they'll have the same years. He's not leaving. He's not going to say, oh, Ben's got a 4-year deal and I have a 2-year deal, so I quit. No, he was going nowhere. This is the Bears again, and we all know, and people, I saw that in the chat. You guys got to realize that this starts at the top with ownership. No shit. We've been saying that forever. And guess what?
That might have been said.
Guess what? You're not changing ownership. You're not. You can do whatever you want. Print a T-shirt. Make a hat. It doesn't matter. It's not. The Bears are not selling. They're not. They're not.
No, they took all the steps they could to make sure that they didn't have to.
And it's like, oh God. But it is. And I get Bears fans are all over the fucking map. And I get it. The emotions are high. And I should probably just not even look at the fucking chat, because it's like Carr said, it gets to be fucking nauseating, and you want to pinpoint it on one person or one call, and it's never that. If you guys have followed us for a long time, you've heard me say that Bears fans are so funny because you either suck or you're amazing. You're a Hall of Famer. There's no middle ground. In 99% of the time, every player in the NFL falls in that middle ground someplace. You don't suck if you're in the NFL, and you're also not a Hall of Famer because you made a good play. That's the problem. But there's lots of guys need to step up. A lot of them do. Just you have.
Can I just for 1 second, if you don't mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you would listen to 30 seconds of this fucking show and hear us say that Caleb Williams has to fucking play better, and you're going to sit there like, oh, I'm so smart and witty, and I'm going to say this. Go
great minds.
Get fucked. Seriously. You're clearly just hearing what it is that you want. Everybody has said this is on Caleb. I was asked point blank. It's point A, 1A, Ben Johnson, 1B, Caleb.
Started with that.
But if you want to sit down and say that we're not blaming anybody, get out your head out of your own fucking ass.
Right. And if you piss cars off, you really fucked up.
Seriously.
I mean, it's just infuriating. You just keep repeating the same shit
Over
the
and
whole
over
time,
again.
and every time you're counterbalanced. We've said it, and because I don't sit here and yell that Caleb Williams is the worst person, and we drafted the wrong of the 6 fucking quarterbacks, because clearly none of you watched Drake May take a single snap this last week, if
Bo
that's
Nix.
what the hell you're saying, or Bo Nix. But don't worry. You got your witty little comments in. Now sit back home in your mom's basement and shut the fuck up.
I love it.
Cars.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Matthew's typed this a few times, but I mean,
on a positive note, the O-line looked way better than it ever did last. I'm not going to agree there. I mean,
Jonah.
Yeah. So
got some growing pains. Got some stuff to work.
That can't be the real Don Burr. We got rid of Don a long time ago, but you got some things to worry about yourself there, Green Bay boy.
Oh man.
I mean, look,
It's a must win for both teams.
It truly is. And to be completely honest, I mean, we have to win, but it's a bigger must win for Detroit because you've gone from Dan Campbell, like, oh my God, what a next generational coach, to, oh, hey, how did Dan Campbell ignore the fact that Johnny Morton was a terrible offensive coordinator in the New York Jets and decided, hey, this is going to be the guy that we're going to go ahead and do this year. I think that's that's the biggest one. So, like, you're going to it's a positive for us in the sense that you've got to have your A game. There's enough tape to go around to sit down and watch, and folks that have to get coached up and things that have to improve, and for the morons listening in the back that don't hear it, that includes Caleb Williams. But the season isn't over. Like, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
The season is not over.
Let's get into some of these super chats before we get out of here. And Cherie's probably going to yell at all of us because we got salty cars and Jackal is back. Pontruvius Sweezy, $4.99. Wow, the penalties and utter collapse gave me flashbacks to Puss Floose at times. Not giving up yet, but they made me very sad, and the collapse was rough. We agree, man. We're right there with you. And there she is.
In to say hi to Jacqueline Cars.
Hi, Cherie.
Hi. Thank you
Hello,
for
Cherie.
getting me out of my rage.
I was going to say, Car sounds happier now.
I thought at least she's not wearing her JJ McCarthy Michigan jersey. That would have been bad.
I had to put that away.
Yeah. Yeah, Sir, I'm at $1.99. Worst game of Caleb's career, quite possibly. Well, I'll give you your $1.99 back because it was not the worst of his career.
God, no.
I mean, stop. Again, the dramatics are nauseating. Dan Kelly, $5. Kicker isn't the problem. It is a problem, though. Your kicker has to be able to pound it through the end zone, make 50-yard field goals, other issues as well. I mean, Cairo's kicked 50s. Is he kicking 60s? No, he's not. Nope. But again, it's as much as I've picked on bullets and we got the fuck you bullets drop. I mean, that's what it was all about with Cairo. You gotta be able to kick it out of the end zone. If that's what is asked of you. And if not, kick the fucker out of bounds or kick an onside kick. And that was, Ben said that was, a consideration, but they decided on kicking it out of the back of the end zone. They must have said to Cairo, you comfortable? Yes, I'm comfortable doing that. Well, you didn't. Comes back to what? Execution. Either you can't or you just didn't execute it. So thank you, Dan. Sean Minnick, $4.99. I have said this before on your channel. This feels so familiar. New regime. Same C on the helmet. Nothing changes. Guy Finley. Pro tip. Bears rushed for more than the Vikings average last year. Number 2 in the NFL. Well, it's not so much the average guy. I mean, who made the biggest plays in the, you don't forget, it's not just the rushing. Aaron Jones had a huge catch.
Yeah. And a huge pass interference call too.
Yeah, and Jordan Mason
he looked good.
Had the long runs there. That really decimated the Bears.
119-yarder.
All right, we're just going through these. Jordan Etter, $5. Caleb didn't allow 21 points in the fourth quarter. Casuals will blame Caleb for this, but Ben got out coached first game though, so hopefully lesson learned. Yeah, and
but Caleb, but Caleb also had a part in it by not executing and not delivering on
100%.
on some of those plays, because the reason the defense did was they couldn't get off the field.
Mo, $4.99. Cars, I love you, but all the talk about Ben, he has to have them play better, make adjustments. Frustrating, and that's the thing that upset me the most as Kevin O'Connell's given his speech in Soldier Field, so that's not fun to watch. But is you wanted to believe that Ben was going to be different there. Now he's going to have plenty of opportunities to improve there, but the adjustments in the second half were to me, just baffling.
If you go 12 and heavy that frequently, then your adjustment is to go 13 because they're going to go over, or excuse me, start going 11, 3 wideouts, and you got to pivot and you've got to do things to get the ball, like, get slant. Where were the slants? There were some of the best plays were the stuff that happened in the middle of the field to Olamide and some others. Like, where was that? Where was that with a Luther Burden? Where was that with some of these others? That to me was the biggest miss. Like, absolutely, there was issues there, but it's like you set an identity and then you kind of refuse to change from that, and that was a huge miss.
Yeah, and like I said, to go through, you had a top 10 pick in Colston Loveland.
Yep.
That had no really bearing on the game overall tonight. You had Luther Burden, who didn't play much at all. Ozzy Trapillo is a backup offensive lineman. Shamar Turner isn't even active. So that's your top 10 pick and your 3 second rounders. And this is why we were so upset on draft day, because of the approach. Love Colston Loveland. Love the talent. Tight end 1. I will go to my grave saying that the approach was wrong. And don't even get me started on
the player is right, but the approach is wrong. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. It makes no sense. And that is a huge indictment on Ryan Poles. And
100%.
Again, say whatever you want about Caleb, and nobody will bring this up. The process with that, and I am not referring to the article that was out because it has nothing to do with that. But you have the number 1 pick in the draft. You're in the fucking pole position. You bring in every fucking quarterback, no matter what, to talk to them. And only in Chicago do they not do that. And that's why. That's why. It's
as you love to say, and that's a problem.
Yeah, it is. It's malpractice on every fucking level. Sadly. Oh, we got more corn planter. Holy shit. Is that Jackal? Yes. I'm pretty sure it is.
We got the band back together for celebrating times.
Mo says everybody let Justin Fields go. That's the best $1.99 you ever spent, Mo. I agree. Go. Jacob Schroba, 1999. The whole dynamic of this game changed when Caleb decided not to throw the ball away and take an intentional grounding. Momentum switch sides at that point. Yeah, it was a big play. So Jacob's on point. I mean, I think that there was multiple points.
But Shane, you said Caleb has done everything right this point so far. So
I know clearly.
Once again, refusing to admit that he's done anything wrong.
Yeah.
Mo is back for Cars. Did you see Joe Burrow? The Bengals are trading for Bajent.
I mean,
exactly.
That game was atrocious. Jalen Hurts was atrocious. Drake May was atrocious. Like, Geno didn't look the best for large stretches. Bo Nix had some of the worst interceptions I've seen this year. Like, but it was just us. It was just us.
Jacob is back. $4.99. Number 9 looked terrible, and he's talking about our safety and Jaquan Brisker. I mean, on the one, talk about. I don't want to hear about maximum effort, and I mean, out of all people, Jaquan Brisker, you've had a lot of time since you've played in an actual NFL regular season football game. The last one you played before this was the Carolina game last year. And
oh, wow.
You're out there jogging on some plays. Not a fan of that. In a contract year. So that makes it even worse. Can't, $4.99. The thing that frustrated me, the multiple false starts. I think he means unacceptable. I don't know if that's on the line or Caleb's cadence. What do you guys think? Yeah, it can be both.
Jonah Jackson.
It's Jonah Jackson, 100%. And guess what, guys? Think about this. Who's the most familiar with Ben Johnson's offense on the offensive line? Jonah Jackson. Jonah Jackson is a Bears offensive lineman because of who? Because of Ben Johnson. So yeah, it's a problem. Like Carr said. Jacob Schroba's back. Ben Johnson decided to go for it on fourth down instead of kicking the field goal and taking the points early in the game. And listen, I don't know if you guys agree with me. The way that it was going, Phil and I were chatting back and forth a little bit. People are asking in the chat, where's Phil? I don't know how they don't know at this point. Phil was at Soldier Field for the game. We've announced it, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 times at this point.
Phil?
Yeah, who is Phil? Not sure. But I like to think of myself as being, defaulting to aggressive. But in that situation, my gut instinct was telling me
take the points.
Take the points.
Yeah.
Because it's your first game.
Yep.
You want to be in point accumulation mode and kind of see where it goes. You have lots of time later to be aggressive, but hey. You can't praise Ben for being aggressive when it works, and then to kill him when it doesn't, because it doesn't really work that way. So thank you, Jacob. Steve G 999, plenty of blame to go around, but per usual, it starts at the top of how the team is built. No running back or kicker has a limp dick. We have to rely on wrong aspects of the game to win. It's not sustainable. That is my worry. I just it comes down to flawed process, flawed roster building.
Shane, if we want to draw the time that we normally do, remember when like Nagy blew out the Tampa Bay Bucks and it was like, we've arrived, this is us. The sad thing is for Ryan Poles was his I've arrived, this is us, is I got Ben Johnson to be my head coach, and so now I deserve an extension. Like it was something.
But again, if anybody is a Ryan Poles believer in the chat, give me one valid reason of why he needed to be extended. Why? It's like replacing a window in your house because he said, you know what? We just had a baby yesterday, and when he's 10, he's going to break the window with a baseball. It didn't need to be fucking changed. You didn't need to extend him.
It clearly needed. But that's the Bears thing, right? Like that's the way. I think that in the end, more than half of you have written off the season, and so I'm sure you won't be joining in these chats anymore because you won't be watching these games because you've already written off this season, right?
That's what I told some of the patrons. I was watching the chat room on the patron app, and I told them, like, you guys, I'm adding chat room comments to dumbest tweets that return Wednesday night. It's like, Jesus Christ. There was guys in there giving up in the third quarter, still had time left. It's like, yeah, it's over. Hey, and ultimately they ended up being right, but my God, it's just that shit gets nauseating too. It's like every single fucking
everything.
Rough.
Everything.
Man, Jacob's paying up tonight. Jacob Schroba. I'm sorry, but you drafted this guy first overall, and he cannot finish a game. Yes, the defense takes some fault. I'm not. He can't finish the game. What happened in Green Bay? Yeah, I don't think Caleb's end of game play has been an issue.
It's the middle.
There's been things in the middle. Yeah. The Bears never scored a touchdown in the first quarter last year. Not one time. That was the first thing they did. And then it went barren. It went dry. It went tits up. Yeah. Declan Pettit, 1999. Great stand on the Caleb Nails bullshit, Shane. Well done. And that's the thing, guys. And listen, I know you can have whatever fucking belief you want, but let's call a fucking spade a spade. If you don't like Caleb Williams' fingernails, you don't like Caleb Williams if his nails aren't fucking painted.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. It's just what it is.
That's not what the internet is for.
We've been through this, and I've said it, and I'll say it again. And if you want to MF me in the chat, go right ahead. I don't give a fuck. Justin Fields looks like a Marvel superhero in his football uniform, and people dig that. And Caleb paints his nails and is emotional with his mom in his last college game and loves his dog and loves fashion, and people look at that and they don't like it. No. So they probably have some issues themselves they need to uncover. But that is what this is all about, more so than anything. Like Tito G, I removed him completely from the chat. A guy that's been in our chat forever, but just acting like an asshole. Like every comment about, fingernail boy and go paint your fucking nails. And all right, go watch Swifty. I don't give a fuck. Go watch that shit. You have problems yourself if that is your focus. His fingernails tonight were about suicide prevention.
Yeah.
That was the promotion.
Selfish.
That he's put. Yeah, it's just
Courtney Cronin asked for somebody that asked.
Yeah. But it's like, holy shit.
It's rough.
Man, Jacob is going crazy. I'm sorry. I was 10 years old the last time the Bears mattered. I'm sick and tired of being disappointed by this.
I think he was -10, so it happened 10 years
10,
before he was born. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, we're all there.
Balls.
We're all there. Dustin Combs had a comment that was starred that was just dumb, and I'm not going to read it. Jacob is back again. The game was lost when Caleb tried to make it's not. I guess we didn't remove that one. Follow 84, 1999, 0 rum game penalties is what decided the game today. And that was, listen, it's not the only things that decided it, but they were big parts of it also. 100%. And this is the last one, our guy Lawrence Crispin, $2. A lot of work to do, but it's still a learning experience. Yeah, and you're correct. Yeah, you got 16 more of these. And stories haven't been written, and I just think
they clearly have. They clearly have.
Oh, with a lot of people, right?
And again, all of you in the chat, like, this is over. Page me when Bajent plays. All of those things. No, you know what? I'm not here to tell you how to fan. I'm not here to tell you anything. But just don't show up in the chat. Like, if you want to go be miserable, go find something else to do. It's ridiculous. You've made your decision on the season. Go. And I can't blame people for doing it. I do it pretty much about every year, about week 9 or week 10. But if you want to do it in week 1, go right the fuck ahead. Go right ahead.
That's tough, man.
I mean, I get it. They've given us so many reasons to not trust them, to not like them. And we're going to, you just look at this and people are just shitting all over the chat over everything. Like, go be miserable somewhere else. Maybe go outside, look at the sky. Edibles are legal here in Illinois. Like, take something to make you happy. Like, whatever it is. But if you just want to be miserable, like, jeez.
Yes, Wex, I do. If I see people acting like assholes in the chat, yeah, we remove them. Yeah, always have, always will. 100%. You don't like it? Sucks to be you. It's my chat. I control it, not you. I'm a backside look. Oh, that's not my comment. Yeah, so Dio played his ass off. Sweat needs to shit in his hat and get off the field. That's the right. And listen, we held Dio accountable. And that was, the questionable call against him, the hands to the face, the fucking referee in the booth's like, yeah, I didn't see it get up into the face. It never got up above the neck.
Yep.
He said that, and it didn't. Troy Aikman's like, yeah, I didn't see anything there either. But Dio did play his ass off. But, big but here. Big but.
Uh-oh, Shane.
What is critical to point out about Dio Dengbo.
He was
Who is he
going
lined up
against a backup left tackle.
Exactly. So don't. That matters. That matters. Go out and do it again next week, Dio.
At least he didn't look overmatched.
Yeah, well, that's how many times have we seen that?
Yeah.
Back in the day, I can remember playing Green Bay one game, and they had, what, 3 or 4 of their starting 5 offensive linemen out. That was like back when we had like Julius Peppers. And the Bears didn't touch Rodgers. It didn't matter. So we've seen that stuff too. But yeah, so just like Anthony Padgett says right there, yeah, let's see it next week. You got paid $48 million. Go out there and do it again. Do it again. So of course Phil's pissed. We're all pissed. We're all pissed. You had a chance to start the year off right. And listen, this loss matters more. It's a divisional opponent at home in prime time. And you know what? The overriding arc is going to be from the national media and from everybody is same old Bears. Caleb Williams sucks, and move on. That's what it's going to be. And it's way more in depth than that, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, essentially a rookie quarterback. Yeah, he sat for a year. Yeah, it was his first playing time at home, surrounded by, what'd they say, 30 some odd family members, Chicago
12
kids.
preseason snaps this year.
Yeah. Yep. So anyways, I think with that being said, we've been live here a little over an hour. Well, almost an hour and 20 minutes. Seems like it's
I'm
been
good.
a lot longer than that. But please, if you have not already, I'm sure you guys will be very excited to know that you can go over to the tapeneverlies.com to sign up, and Phil will provide you with a full comprehensive breakdown of this game as the tape gets cut and he puts it up, and there's more for us to talk about. We will be live tomorrow night on CHGO After Dark with myself, Greg Braggs, and Adam Rank. Phil will not be part of that because his football game got rescheduled to tomorrow night. And Wednesday night, it's keeping it 100. So I will be back yet again with the crew where we'll be talking about more of this fun stuff. And then I think Cars Keys is back this week, correct?
Oh, Cars.
Nope. No, show's over.
The old curmudgeon said we're going to fix it and post it.
We're done.
We're just going to delete that bitch.
We're done. Season's over. So, yeah, I'm good.
Cars, hang in there.
You too. I don't know what it's meant to be, but let's just roll with it.
Yeah. Anyways, well, we appreciate all you guys coming out, hanging out with us for a little while. The Bears lose 27-24. Next week's another week. Let's see. Bears go and put one on in Detroit. I bet you the chat looks a little bit different next week. That's just the way that it goes.
Chances.
Nope. There's no way. No. We would have won by more if Bajent was his quarterback.
That's it. All right. We love you all.
Cars.
Remember, the tapeneverlies.com. Sign up. Become a patron today. And be smarter. Imagine that. Smart Bears fans. We need more of them. All right. We're out of here. Bear down.
Thank you for watching Bears Hour Live, the best post-Bears game show on the planet, on the Tape Never Lies Network.